Hello everyone, welcome to the Advancement Centre and welcome to the world of magic and miracles, where once again we elevate ourselves above that platform of living that we know we've got used to now, that one that holds us in a special place to allow us to continue to bring to life that world that automatically switches on and fills all the gaps in our being, such that we feel the magic and we live instead of just being here. Our whole motive system turns on. We start our engine and we lift above everything and look with a whole different perspective, not just at life, but at the universe and our own majestic being. We've been exposed to that majestic being since we were children. And now it's time to elevate the picture we have such that that majestic being is what everybody sees. Not just the vision you see in the mirror or the face that you put on for a particular time in life. So now we venture a little further into the world of our Creator, where mystery disappears. Explanations are not required. And our heart starts to grow in a whole different way than what we're used to. The further we go, the easier it is. And the more becomes available. So if you can imagine yourself flitting around in the middle of nowhere, just like Tinkerbell, with sparkles and cheers and mischief, and you suddenly expose yourself to everything and disappear into what you think is nowhere, only to find that the world you disappeared into is much bigger than the one you just left. And you continue to do this until all of a sudden, it's all there. In a different form, but it's all there. Even your life on Earth. That place that you eventually go to is where you've hidden all your gifts. The gifts that you're about to bring back into the world and implement through the industry of magic and miracles. So in that world of magic and miracles, it's endless. But what you bring back is yours to present in the industry of magic and miracles. Totally under your control and totally outside any vision that anybody has ever had. So as you feel yourself opening, because you're everywhere right now, the being that you are becomes the most important thing in your life. And the being that continually transmits and gives and elevates everyone around is actually the one that you are. And the form is endless. The energy required just keeps flowing. And the people around you keep smiling. And they don't know why. So as we accelerate that engine that turns itself on because we simply say we're in the world of magic and miracles. The velocity of rotation holds a stability that we can now control in that mystical world of magic and miracles. The greater the spin or the more complex the movement, the easier it is. To the point where you surpass gravity and you actually use it in the opposite direction to what you do on Earth. You can lift yourself just by deciding to lift. But if you try to analyze it, you would find that you've turned the forces against gravity and it gives you a resultant in the opposite direction. And it's done by spinning in a complex manner, but spinning it is. And it needs no direction. It's excitement. It's throwing sparkles. All this, if you watch it, it's happening automatically. So you just speed it up. As you speed it up, you're going to end up with more energy than you know what to do with. So you send it out into the world. And you do the opposite to what you've been doing. You make the trees grow. You enhance everything. You make everything alive. You become the supplier. Instead of taking everything from the world, you deliver. And you deliver in such a way that the natural growth of life goes into action simply because of your presence. And as you watch everything change around you, you won't even register that there's anything phenomenal about it until after the event. But people around you will see the difference and they'll notice the glow that you carry and the great feeling that they have when they're in your presence. As we deliver this into the world, you are able to establish a framework that you decided on many years ago. That framework is not yet explainable in our normal language, but it's explainable in the mere look from your eyes, the feel of your transmission, the massive aura that surrounds you and everything in your world. And the amazing thing is, it does not disturb anyone or anything. It has more than you can explain, even from the sense of love that we talk about in this world. It's beyond that, because it doesn't really rely on anything. It transmits no matter what. It supports no matter what. It doesn't require the other person to have it correct. It doesn't require anything from anyone. And the further you go into the world of your Creator, the quicker that flows and fills your life and every aspect of your being. And we divide things up in this world into various aspects so that we can explain to one another. In the world of magic and miracles, nothing's divided. But we're also totally individual. Explain that to your brain and you're doing well. Because two situations are not allowed at the same time in our logical sense, or two opposing situations. But in fact, that's how the universe is made up. I used to say that there's two gravities, one spiritual, one earthly. Spiritual one goes up, the earthly one goes down. And in fact, that's a simplistic explanation, now being scientifically proven and called something else. It doesn't matter what they're called. It all exists at the same time. And you're able to move between these forces and produce a balance that suits you. And that happens in a million different directions at once. So we can draw in 3D and maybe other things. But in your real world, it's multiple dimensions and multiple directions, multiple fields, multiple reactions. When you put them all together, there's no reaction, there's just a final balanced position in the physical world and a final balanced position in the universe. And I leave out the spiritual world because it should never be separated. Spiritual has become more complex than our natural life. And there are more rules that you're supposed to stick to define yourself as spiritual. But the mixture of it all together is just that majestic you that has it all and doesn't have to separate anything or consider anything. Why we're going in this direction is because it's essential for the framework that you're establishing in the world. It's essential to have endless talents, to have endless access, and to know that your infrastructure will match anything you bring into the world. And once you declare it, you are the authority. And there's no competition, even if you use the same words as somebody else. You can't say it the same and you can't be the same. It doesn't mean that somebody else decided they were captain of the team when you know you're captain of the team, because they're two different teams. They might look the same, but they're not. Everything about everyone that you interact with belongs to you in your world. And that's part of the logical mystery, not part of the mystery to us. Because we know that at any time we can be anywhere. And I love playing with this little exercise of saying, now just follow me. You're in a plane, you're on a train, you're in the Alps, you're skiing the slopes, you're skiing past the trees, and you're flying above them. You're looking down on your friend's house. You're across the room from your mother. You look down on the stars. And you didn't have to move or think about anything. You didn't have to use your imagination. You just followed because you're already there. Now, the more we play, the more we'll laugh and say, it doesn't sound logical and it doesn't sound possible. But yes, I was there. I'm up in that plane that's making a noise right now. And it's easy. There you go. There is no barrier and no difference between what you're bringing into the world and what you know is supported to be here. And it's not hard work. It's exciting, brilliant work that makes you wake up each day excited about something and you don't know what it is. Makes you feel like a little child jumping out of bed, saying good morning to everyone. And you never get the situation where you get out of bed and some adult says to you, you better go back and get out the other side of the bed because you didn't get it right that time. It never happens anymore. We jump out of bed, we say good morning, we smile, we hug one another, and we get on with the day, even if it's a heavy day. Because we have more facilities available to us than the major countries of the world. They're available to us personally in an instant. And yet your brain says, oh, well, you'll have to prove that to me. But if you look at your brain and say, well, you just have to wait in line, I'm enjoying myself, it just goes away. And it doesn't need any proof because you're alive, you're vibrant, and you're sending all this amazing energy out to everybody. And knowing beyond a doubt you have brought into this world an industry for magic and miracles. And you know what you're doing. You know how to do it. And the biggest thing is to make everything alive. No matter how the world presents it to you. Make it alive without fear. Laugh at it. And know how big you really are. Talk to the birds. Talk to the wind. Send more power into the wind so that it has better control. Bring the rains. Allow everything to be natural. It's the power within each one of us that actually drives our whole world. And that's everything we can see, do, feel, or interact with, including the things we can't see, but we know we're interacting with. We're getting ready to take all this into a real physical presentation of our own each and every day of our life. And we know that as we do that, so will our children, so will our friends. And all those who have this sense of they've got another family here will suddenly just connect and not even be concerned whether they've met the people, because they know they're connected in a totally different way through an enormous number of channels that are not used on this earth. So we don't even have to ask for help. We know it's there, and it happens. And we don't even have to expect it. You don't expect to have to get it right each time you get up to walk. It's a natural part of your being. You discovered that as you grew, and you're really good at it. But they've been working with computers for hundreds of years, attempting to get close to what we can do naturally. They haven't even explored the channels that we use, because you cannot trace them. They can only be read by humanity through the facilities of that majestic being that is actually represented by your body here. So once you feel the change around you, remember you're in control. As you come into the physical world, you can set everything on fire. You can deliver your gift, your energies, your field that you just ventured into nowhere to receive. And you didn't receive them from anybody. They're part of the world of your Creator, that you were allowed to select, organize, and shock the hell out of everybody for the rest of your life. You can feel all that around you. You can feel the beauty, and you can feel the power. And it's not a power against anybody or anything. It's a power to make everything grow, be alive, be everything that you could possibly imagine it could be. Even a mystery or a story or a very down-to-earth reality. Remember nothing and feel yourself being dislodged from the logic, and you'll feel the magic in the interface between you and everything else, in that tiny gap that you thought wasn't there. And as you feel the magic, you'll realize that tiny gap is a world that's bigger than the world you've been playing in. And so the magic starts to affect even the physical nature of the world itself. The nature of things that are solid, they can be changed into malleable. And you've seen people do that. But when you allow your whole gift to come together, you'll see a lot more than just what's been demonstrated. The whole world around you will change. And you'll know beyond a doubt that it's doing exactly what you want. But it's not what you want through your brain. It's like trying to draw a color picture with a black pencil. You cannot produce color from black, but you can produce black from color. So you get out there and you get all your coloured pencils. And then watch what you can produce. Get all the inputs and outputs. Get all the gifts, even if you don't know what they are. Collect your whole baggage to the point where you can see it sparkling. You can see the gems that are popping out all around it. And then you know you've got the package that you're going to bring to Earth. And that package has power, has life, and it does make everything alive. It does make the trees grow. It does put everything back into the earth. Because we're supposed to be here to enhance everything. And we can enhance the earth without even picking up a shovel. But out of nowhere, crews of people will just turn up and start to make things better. Because all the ideas are planted in that space where they can be picked up by other people. It's just like you just fill the store with all these possibilities and people start to go shopping. They say, oh, I'd like to do that. Oh, that's a good idea. I just discovered this. I can make a fortune in it. You are providing that infrastructure that has everything available for everyone. And it doesn't have an explanation apart from what's in the transmission that you continually deliver when you're in the world of magic and miracles. So side by side, you'll dance. And what will happen is there will be groups of people who are amazed. And they will do the same to others. And it will just all add in all different directions. And the fact that you can talk may allow someone to walk. They're connected in the most unusual way. And it's not anything that can be written down as solid forever. When the spotlight's on you, you perform. When the spotlight's on someone else, they perform. And that spotlight's moving so fast now that it seems like we're all performing at the same time. But in fact, each time it comes to us, we light up, we smile, we send out our magic, and we perform. And it may only be for a fraction of a second. But that is sufficient for a lifetime of most people. So wind up the speed, lift up your heart, feel the magic take over, and say, go for it. And with that, all I can say is, once again, we offer you perfect life, perfect health, and a really magic future. Thank you.